Hello guys, this is the second video of the critical reasoning series wherein I will be discussing 5 questions from question 6 to question 10. So if you haven't watched the first video where I discussed from question 1 to question 5, then watch that video first and then we will move further on. The procedure will remain same, that you have to first pause the video, try it by yourself, and then we will discuss. So let's move on to the sixth question. So the question says Russia's private sector suffered from many more disadvantages than did the private sector in China. Okay. New ventures are risky and it can therefore be difficult for them to raise the capital. Chinese firms had a tremendous advantage in this regard due to the presence of an overseas network of successful Chinese entrepreneurs, particularly in Hong Kong and Taiwan. These individuals had the resources and the desire to establish a branch in their homeland. Okay. So basically, this thing suggests that the people, the Chinese entrepreneur, they had an overseas network and they had a desire basically to invest in their own country. And that's what it is written, that their desire to establish a branch in their homeland, right? So they wanted to invest in their own country. As soon as China removed restrictions on foreign direct investments, their money came pouring in. There means the Chinese entrepreneurs. Okay, their money came pouring in. Russia, on the other hand, had to go begging to the IMF or to the Western multinationals, offering its oil, gas, and other minerals in exchange. Okay, which of the following could be the best solution for this problem? Okay, so what is the problem in first place? The problem is that the Russia's private sector was at a disadvantageous position than the Chinese private sector. Why so? Because China had a successful overseas network of entrepreneurs, right? They were ready to invest in their own country. That's what it is written. Here it is written. See, as soon as China removed restrictions on FDI, their money came pouring in. Okay, but that was not the case for the Russia's private sector. Russia, on the other hand, was dependent on IMF or to the Western multinational for the investments. So that was the problem for the Russia's private sector, and that's why the first line. That's why the private sector in Russia was at a disadvantageous position than the private sector in China. Okay, so that was the problem for the Russia's private sector. Now I have to look out for the best solution for this problem. So option A says Russia could learn from China on how it manages or control its economy so well. Russia could learn from China on how it manages or control its economy. See, I don't think this is the best solution, because Russia could learn from the China on how it manages or control the economy. See, it was not mentioned that Russia doesn't know how to manage economy or something of that sort, right? Means nothing was mentioned in the question which indicates something like that, that Russia was facing a problem in managing, or Russia doesn't know how to manage the economy. Okay, so that's not mentioned anything in the question which gave me this indication, right? So this can't be the best solution. However, I am not eliminating it. I am just keeping it aside as of now, right? So the B option says the investments and the aid from the Western multinationals to Russia should be minimized. See, this is in fact would increase the problem for Russia. This can't be the best solution. Why? Because see, Russia was dependent on the IMF and Western multinationals, right? Because Russia doesn't have that overseas network of entrepreneurs, unlike the case of China, right? Russia was totally dependent upon the IMF and Western multinationals. So if you're going to reduce the help from them, from the help from the Western multinationals, the problem for Russia would increase. So instead of solving the problem, you are increasing the problem for Russia if you choose answer option B, right? So option B is straight away eliminated. This option would even exacerbate the problem for Russia. So hence can't be my answer. Let's look at option C. Russia should develop its technical know-how to make most of its mineral wealth. See, Russia should develop its technical know-how. Again, just like option A, nothing is mentioned that Russia doesn't know the technicalities or something. Means nothing is mentioned. What I am saying is, in the question, nothing is mentioned which indicates this point that Russia doesn't know the technicalities, right? So I can't choose this option as well. However, I am keeping this aside as of now. Option D says Russian entrepreneurs who have established themselves abroad should be wooed to invest at home. Okay, so this is the best solution. So if you read all the four options, you can know by yourself that option D is the best solution. Why I am saying that? Because what is written in option D is happening in the case of China, right? That's why China's private sector is at advantageous position. Okay, so if something is happening in China, if the same thing happens in the Russia's private sector as well, wherein they don't have to depend much on the IMF or the Western multinationals anymore, and their investments are coming from the people, Russian entrepreneurs who are living abroad, basically the Russian diaspora. Okay, so if the same thing is happening, then that would be the best solution. So between option A, C, and D, option D would be the best solution for this problem. Option A and option C are easily eliminated when we read option D, right? So hence option D would be my answer to this question. Let's look at the next question. Your appearance and learning are passive factors. You have to follow it up with some positive, quick, and favorable actions. Action can be created by the use of your voice and the use of your limbs. You may follow up your smile with a warm greeting. You can happily wish the other individual a good morning, good day, good evening. Oof, lots of information, lots of stories given. You can happily wish the individual a good morning, good day, good evening. That greeting may be followed up with a friendly, firm, and manly handshake. In case you are greeting a member of the opposite sex, you may not respond to a handshake. Who may not respond to a handshake? You may fold your hands and greet her or him with an explicitly executed namaste. Okay, basically namaste करनी है, nothing else. Means बहुत story दे रखी है. With elderly people, you can do pranam, or otherwise you can bow your head and convey your greetings. What a boring story. Which of the following can be inferred from the above passage? Okay, let's see. A handshake is the Western equivalent of the namaste or pranam practiced in India. See, we are not comparing any Western culture or Eastern culture or something of that sort, right? So a handshake is the Western equivalent of the namaste or pranam practiced in India. This was not mentioned or can't be inferred, right? I hope you are getting this point. This means handshake is the Western equivalent of namaste or pranam. We are not concerned about the Western culture, means how people greet in Western culture or how people are greeting in Eastern culture. Means we are not comparing, and hence this can't be my inference, right? Option A can't be my answer. If you greet a member of the opposite sex, you should not shake hands. You should not shake hands. It was written in the question that in case you are greeting a member of the opposite sex who may not respond to handshake, you may fold your hands and greet her or him with the namaste. Okay, so again, option C is not relevant. This categorically, this is saying that you should not shake hands. This can't be inferred, right? This is irrelevant altogether. Option C says action provides different ways of greeting people and it does not have to differ from person to person, age to age, gender to gender. Action provides different ways of greeting people and it does not have to. Okay, I'm just keeping it as of now. Your behavior is as important as your looks in making a good impression. Your behavior is as important as your looks in making a good impression. Okay, so this option D can be my inference. Your behavior is as important as your looks in making a good impression. See, action, and option C says action provides different ways of greeting people and it does not have to differ from person to person, age to age. See, option C says basically action provides different ways of greeting people. This is okay, but um, it also says that it does not have to differ from person to person, age to age, and gender to gender, which is contrary to what is written in question. Okay, it can be differ from person to person, like it was mentioned for opposite sex. If the person is not responding to a handshake, you may fold your hands. Okay, so it may differ from person to person, from age to age, from gender to gender. Okay, so option C can't be my answer. I don't know why I kept this option in aside in first place. This option should be eliminated straight away. Because just for the simple fact, see, it does not, it is written clearly that it does not have to differ from person to person, age to age, and gender to gender. This is contrary to what is written in the question. Okay, it can differ from person to person. Okay, so hence option C can't be my answer. So option D would be the best inference. And I don't think so this question is very difficult, because all the three options, you can eliminate them very easily, right? So option D would be the best answer. So let's look at the next question. Musk is a type of perfume that is obtained from antelopes. However, not all musk is produced from illegal killing of antelopes, as it can also be obtained from antelopes that have died a natural death. Okay. Hence, if customers buy musk obtained only from those antelopes that died naturally, then there is no danger of poaching of antelopes and they are becoming extinct. Okay, so this question looks interesting. The argument above depends on the assumption that. Okay, so what is the argument in first place? Okay, so before jumping to the options, we need to basically we have to be make sure what is the argument, whether we understood the argument well or not. Okay, so argument is that the musk is produced from two ways, either from illegal killing of antelopes or from legal killing of antelopes, you can say, who died a natural death, right? So the argument is that if the customers buy the musk obtained from those antelopes that died naturally, then the poaching or the illegal killing of antelopes would be reduced. Okay, so that's the argument. So the argument above depends on the assumption that the antelopes will not be endangered by genetic factors. The antelopes will not be endangered by genetic factors. See, we are not talking about any genetics of antelopes or that. Okay. So the simple argument is only that what I have just discussed right now. Okay, so I guess we don't have to do anything with genetics. However, let's keep this option aside. I want to compare with this option with other options as well. So just keep it aside. Option B says buyers can distinguish between musk that is produced legally and illegally. Okay, so this is the best assumption taken by the author. See, what author has said that if the customers if the customers buy the musk which is obtained from the antelopes that died naturally, then the illegal killing of antelopes would be curbed, right? So simple argument is simply based on the assumption that the customers can know the difference between the musk that which is being produced by illegal killing and which is produced by the antelopes that died a natural death. So yes, this would be the perfect assumption taken by the author, right? So option C says most of the musk sold today comes from illegal poaching. Most of the musk sold today comes from illegal poaching. This is altogether irrelevant. Okay, we are not bothered about from where the musk is coming from. Okay, option C is straight away eliminated, right? The demand for musk obtained legally will continue to increase in the future. Okay, we are also not concerned with the demand of musk that it will increase in the future or it will decrease. We are not concerned about it at all, right? So option B again would be the best solution as far as this question goes. See, again, I am just repeating in case you are facing any problem. The main what is there are two cases from where the musk can be obtained, either the illegal killing of the antelopes or from the antelopes which died a natural death, right? These are the two ways. If the customer, so now the author says, if the customer buy the musk obtained from those which died a natural death, then the illegal killing of antelopes will get decreased. Okay, so that's the main and simple argument. So this argument is simply based on assumption which is written option B, that customers know the difference by looking at musk that which is produced illegally and which is produced illegally. So if customers can make that distinction then and there to buy the musk, then this thing would happen. Means there will be no illegal killing of antelopes will happen anymore. Okay, so this would be the best assumption to this question. Let's look at the next one. Television has a profound effect on teen behavior. Okay, basically on teenagers. Television has a profound effect on teenagers. The students of public school X have, in a recent study, said that they try to follow the style and conduct of celebrities seen on TV. The argument above depends upon which of the following assumptions. Again, just like the previous question, the argument above depends upon which of the following assumptions. So, what is the argument in first place? The argument is that the television has a profound effect on teenagers, right? So, the but in a recent studies, the students of public school X have said that they try to follow the style and conduct of celebrities seen on TV. Okay, so basically, teenagers is a whole community, right? But in this study, which takes care of the students of public school X, okay, so these are just the part of that whole teenagers community. I hope you are getting. See, that teenagers, see, this television has a profound effect on teen behavior or basically on teenagers. So, this is the universal set. This is a general statement, right? Teenagers teenagers are a universal set. I am just explaining. Okay. The students of public school X is just a part of that universal set. You can basically say a subset of that universal set, right? So means teenagers is a whole universal set, whereas the students of public school X, they represent just a part of that universal set, means a subset kind of, right? So argument about depends upon which of the following assumptions. The students of public school X are representative of all teenagers. The students of public school X are representative of all teenagers. See, this is the main assumption. This is the assumption taken by author. See, the author has studied that the students of public school X, they are following the style and conduct of celebrities seen on TV. And he is extrapolating that behavior in general to all the teenagers, right? Are you getting what I'm saying? This author has conducted a study wherein the students of public school X, they are saying that they try to follow the style and conduct of celebrities seen on TV. So the author has just extrapolated that behavior to whole teenagers community. Okay, so this is simply based on the fact when the author has assumed that the students of public school X, which is just a small subset, are representative of the whole teenagers community. Okay, so this is the main assumption. However, let's look at the next options as well. Programs on TV should be tailored to have a positive influence on teens. Programs on TV should be tailored. See, it is irrelevant altogether. I hope you are also getting the getting that how vague these options are. Means they have nothing to do with the questions. Programs on TV should be tailored to have positive influence. No, can't be my answer. Surveys always present the objective and unadulterated truth. See, the emphasis is not. See, the emphasis is not on the surveys whether they provide the unadulterated truth or adulterated truth, means what's their objective. Emphasis is not on the surface. We are not concerned about the surveys. Okay, this can't be my answer. Means these options are just suggesting altogether a different thing. Okay, students of public school X come from well-to-do households. Again, altogether irrelevant. So option A would be my answer. I hope you are getting why I am choosing option A. Even though this question is pretty easy. Why? Because you can easily eliminate option B, C, and D, and the remaining option would be your answer. That is option A, right? But if you want to dig deeper into this option A, let me once again explain it why I am choosing option A. Because this is the assumption taken by the author that the students of public school X are representative of all teenagers. The students of public school X are just a part of the whole teenagers community. And if something is happening to this students of public school X, the author has extrapolated it to the whole teenagers community. So this is the author's assumption that those students of public school X are the representative of whole teenagers community, of whole that universal subset. Okay, so that is the assumption of the author. I hope you are getting that option A would be the answer to this particular question. So let's have a look on the next question, which will be our last question as well. In 2005, the Indian Railways reported an increase over the previous year. The Indian Railways reported an increase over the previous year in the total number of passengers, okay, but a decrease in total revenues, even though prices for its tickets and all routes remained unchanged during the two period. Okay, means kind of inconsistency mentioned in the question. Something like this question was also present in the first video, where we need to talk about the possible reasons of that inconsistency. Which of the following, if true, best reconciles the apparent paradox described above? Okay, see, what is the inconsistency mentioned in the question? That the Indian Railways reported an increase in the total number of passengers. However, their revenues got decreased. Okay, even though the prices for its tickets on all routes remain changed. Okay, now I have to look in the options which probably suggest why this is happening or why this inconsistency is existing in first place. Okay, so the first option says the Indian Railways was a victim of mild recession in 2005. Indian Railways was a victim of mild recession in 2005. Okay, this is not explaining the inconsistency altogether. However, I am just keeping it as of now. Okay, I am not eliminating it. I am just keeping it. Keeping it. I want to compare with other options as well. Expenditure on employees' salary remained constant during the 2-year period. It is not explaining why their revenues got decreased. Okay, I am looking for the fact which explains that inconsistency mentioned over there. Okay, this is in fact increases the problem for Indian Railways, that they will think that okay, our expenditure is the same, then how come our revenues are decreasing? Okay, this is in fact increase the problem for Indian Railways. Okay, so B can't be my answer. Passengers traveled shorter distances in 2005. Passengers traveled shorter distances in 2005. Okay, so this could probably my answer. Why? Because even though the number of passengers increased, but the revenues are decreasing, this could be probably explained with the fact written in option C. Because if passengers are traveled shorter distances, then definitely their revenues will decrease. No, see, for shorter distances, the ticket price is constant. For longer distances, the ticket price is constant. Now, it is now this case can happen that even though the number of passengers has increased, however, the more of those passengers are traveling for the shorter distances, and that explains well for the decrease in their revenues. Okay, this is just a logical inference, this is just a logical conclusion, right? If the people are, even though the people are increasing, but if they are traveling for the shorter distances, they will give ticket price for that short distance, right? So hence the revenues for the Indian Railways will get decreased. So this is the logical explanation for the inconsistency mentioned in the question. Let's look at the option D. The Indian Railways did not buy any equipment or hire any new staff in 2005. So this is again just like option B. Option B and option D are just same. Their expenditures are constant. Means if their expenditures are constant, it is not explaining why their revenues are getting decreased, right? So even though B and D says that expenditures are constant, this is in fact increasing the problem for Indian Railways. They will think that how come the revenues will decrease if our expenditures are constant? How come the revenues are decreasing? So B and D are straight away eliminated. This will simply exacerbate the problem for Indian Railways, right? So between A and C, C is giving me the best logical solution, best logical explanation rather for the inconsistency mentioned in the question, right? The option A says the Indian Railways was a victim of a mild recession in 2005. See, even though this is kind of a fact, this option is throwing a kind of a fact on you. So even though this is true, I don't know. But even though this is true, this is not explaining the inconsistency, why the inconsistency is existing in first place, which is logically explained by option C. Hence, I will choose option C. As soon as my eyes look at option C, I will choose the option C and move on to the next one. Okay, so basically that brings end to this video. So if you like the content, you can subscribe to the channel. I will be keep coming up with more content like this, and I will be keep coming up with more content for critical reasoning series, because just like I explained in the previous video that critical reasoning is most important as far as your verbal section is concerned, because your RCs, the question types basically asked in RCs, they do require the critical reasoning skills. So if you practice a good number of critical reasoning questions, definitely you will do good in the VRC section as of whole. Not in CAT, but in XAT as well. So do subscribe to the channel, and you can also join the Telegram group for the discussion and the doubt solving purpose. Once there is a good number of members in this Telegram group, we will be discussing a good variety of questions there. Okay, so link is given in the description, and till then, see you guys in the next one. Thank you.